Welcome to a shoulder box tutorial featuring our Cottage Life. I'm Shari Philomahala here at the Graphic 45 headquarters, and today I'm going to teach you how to take this Graphic 45 box and decorate it with some of our gorgeous Cottage Life papers. This has been created for us this month by Carla Vera, and let me give you a peek inside the box. So we are going to take this Kraft box and decorate it up, making it an elegant and chic storage box. Of course, you could store all sorts of fun things in here, craft supplies, jewelry, gifts. But of course, you can always do our staggered accordion album tutorial as well and store this beauty in this box that perfectly fits. Now, to create this box, you can go ahead and pick up our Graphic 45 Album Kit Volume 4 for 2022. You can do that on our website, G45papers.com, or head on down to your local retailer, of course. If you become a subscriber, you're going to get a fun and fabulous kit like this sent directly to you in the mail each and every month, where you'll get new paper supplies and surfaces, and we'll teach you new techniques. So we encourage you to grab whatever supplies you've got on hand and join us for this fabulous tutorial. To start decorating this box, we're going to be using our project sheet that came with your Volume 4 kit. However, if you're just following along with the supplies you've got at home, you can always find our project sheets on our website at G45papers.com. Just go up to the top right-hand side and hit the Inspiration tab and go down to Project Sheets. Step 1, we are going to cut out two pieces that are going to be 1 inch by 9 inches, and we want to cut this piece here. So I've got some pink border as well as this beautiful periwinkle blue, and there's my 1 inch by 9 inch. And then I'm going to, for my second piece, I'm going to take it from the right hand side of that signature Cottage Life paper and 1 inch by 9 inch there. I'm going to cut out two more pieces that are going to be, one is from this section here that is 1 inch by 5 1/8, and from this section down here at the bottom, and grab your window shoulder box. And then we're going to start adhering our two longest pieces onto the lid of our window shoulder box, and then putting my hand underneath so I don't crush my lid, I'm just going to bond that paper down. And then we're going to do some mitering. So taking one of your shorter pieces, I'm going to match this up and make it nice and level where I want it to go on my box. And then I'm going to mark with a pencil where the corners are meeting in this bottom section. Here is my line. There is the outside corner. So just taking my scissors all the way to that point. So now I have some beautifully angled ends, and if you see, it will just match up perfectly to give me a nice mitered look. And just use your adhesive of choice. I'm using some art glitter glue, and make sure you're adding a good amount of adhesive to the edges and corners so nothing is going to get lifted up in the years of use we are going to get out of this gorgeous keepsake box. And then we'll follow those same steps on our bottom. So just making sure that none of the paper is showing out the bottom from our two long pieces. I can make my marks like so, and then cut from one corner to my mark. And then adhere this beautiful baby down to our box. Over the years, I've tried quite a few mitering techniques, but I have to say this so far is my favorite one I've ever done. So bravo, Carla. Step 2, we're going to cut out 4 pieces from Sweet Rambles that are 1 inch by 9 inches. And then we're going to cut out 4 more pieces that are 5 1/8 by 1 inch. All right, so we are just going to put our strips on and work around the box. So if I were starting here with my short side, I would just rotate my box onto the next side and work around. That way I can kind of match up the levels and heights on each side and just keep going until I have a beautiful, nice, cohesive look. Step 3, we're going to grab our Keep Life Simple paper and we are going to cut out 2 pieces that are going to be 8 3/4 inch by 2 inches. And then we're going to cut out 2 pieces that are going to be 4 7/8 by 2 inches. Before we adhere those in, it's really humid here right now and I've been playing around with my box a bit, so it is my inner box is coming away from my bottom. So I'm just going to add a bit of liquid adhesive in there, some nice heavy duty stuff, and seal this right up. When adhering these in, you want to make sure your blossoms are going upright, and I'm putting a good heavy amount of adhesive towards the top of my piece so it will stay down when I'm opening and closing my box and putting everything, all of my goodies, mini albums, keepsakes, whatever you're going to store in here, so it has a nice polished professional look. And then once you find your placement that you like, go ahead and take something to burnish that down. Get out all those air pockets and get a really nice fix. And then I like to take a damp paper towel or cloth and go along my top edge. Since I did put a good amount of adhesive on there, I want to make sure I'm getting any up and that I'm getting an extra good seal on that edge. And then just repeat that process all the way around. Next, we're going to cut a piece of Sweet Rambles to be 4 7/8 of an inch by 8 3/4. And then adhere this right side up in your box. And then you can get out any air pockets by using an ink pad or something with a nice flat edge. And then I'm going to run over the edges with a bone folder. And then from that Cottage Life paper that you cut up earlier to get out those borders, we're going to do some fussy cutting with the leftovers. So first we're going to do is take out this beautiful rose blossom here. We're going to grab these 2 stamps and the Cottage Life title. And in case you're new to graphic 45 or fussy cutting, we've just got a few pro tips to share with you since graphic 45ers love to fussy cut. Well, at least some of them. So one of the things you want to do when you're fussy cutting is go in there and get out the images that you want, so you're not working with a giant piece of paper. You want to be using some fine tip scissors, and you want to be mindful about the images around what you're cutting, because you don't want to cut straight through a gorgeous image like this when you could use that later on a project. One of our favorite parts about fussy cutting is the endless possibilities. So a lot of people love our papers, but say they have a hard time cutting into them because they're too gorgeous or beautiful. They might be intimidated by the busy imagery. So that's why we always love to show you a bit of fussy cutting, to show you that you can really just take apart one of those busier papers and use it for embellishments. It's especially great with your leftover bits and pieces. Once you're done with a card set or a mini album and you've got all these scraps, but there's all these gorgeous little images, that's a great time to pull out those fine tip scissors and some foam adhesive and add a little bit of extra embellishments to your projects. And you're saving money by not having to buy other embellishments, and you're not wasting as much. So you gotta love all those different aspects. So some of our favorite fussy cutting tips are, of course, using your finest tipped, sharpest scissors that you've got. And then you want to drive those papers through your blade like butter. So just steering those papers around the curves, and your scissors won't have to do as much work. We also love to say that if you are a first-time fussy cutter, or if you don't particularly enjoy it, you don't have to get too detailed with it. So it's still going to look great once you put this down on a project, and nobody's going to know. You know, I'm not one to ever pull out the X-Acto knife for fussy cuts, but I know a lot of you like to. So I think to each their own. Just put on a good podcast, audiobook, and just let the fussy cuts come to you. So for something like this, where we're going to do the title, and it's not such a strict guide, I'm just going to lightly cut in a bubblish form around these letters, trying to be consistent with how much ivory I'm leaving around each letter. And then we're going to cut Cottage and Life apart from each other, but we're going to keep living the simple sentiment along with our cottage word. How beautiful is that? If you want to go above and beyond and really make your fussy cuts stand out or hide any imperfections, you can always ink up those edges. I'm using one of our brand new Graphic 45 ink pads in the natural linen color, which is a great ink for distressing and antiquing your projects. It's kind of just the go-to. It'll look good with every Graphic 45 collection. So here's a after and a before. Let us know in the comments below, what do you prefer? Do you like it nice and clean, or do you like a little more inky, vintage feel to your projects? So now we are going to play around with our images and adhere these down to our boxes. So I want my rose bouquet to be on the bottom right. So I know that most of this is not going to be adhered onto my box, so I'm going to be mindful about my placement of my adhesive and add it appropriately. So I've added adhesive where it's going to be touching my box, and now we can go ahead and glue this beauty down. I'm going to take off my lid to make sure that I don't have a lot of adhesive showing on my back side. So clean up anything I do have showing. Next, I'm going to take one of those stamps and I'm just going to adhere it on a diagonal. Then I'm going to take my other stamp and add adhesive to the bottom half and put this over my other 3-cent stamp. Since I only added adhesive to the bottom, I can kind of curl up the edge with my finger, giving it some more dimension. Speaking of more dimension, let's go ahead and take our bone folder and our cottage fussy cut, and I'm just going to curl this paper a little bit. And then I'm going to add adhesive to both ends, leaving the center unadhered, like so. And this is going to go down, and this will adhere. in the bottom left-hand corner, nice and dimensional. So you can pinch that and get as much dimension as you want, or you can pull it to have it be a little more flat. And then add adhesive to your life sentiment and put this in the bottom right-hand corner. But of course, oopsie doodles. Of course, if you want to leave out this phrase, you definitely can, and just have decorations with floral stamps and other fussy cut images towards the bottom and leave it more personalized to your taste. Voila! We've completed this gorgeous shoulder box. We hope that you learned some fun techniques with us today, including mitering, fussy cutting, and that you're going to take those techniques and how to cover a box, maybe some packaging that you've got left over in your house, and turn it into a beautiful piece like this. Go ahead and share your projects with us on Instagram using that Graphic45 hashtag. And when you're done with that, join us for this accordion album tutorial. This album is going to be a lot of fun to learn how to create, and we're going to learn a lot of great techniques in this one as well. So be sure to hit that subscribe button if you like these tutorials and you're looking for more like this, and then also hit that notification bell so you know each and every time a new video gets uploaded. We thank you so much for joining us, and as always, happy paper crafting.